Hey, special educators, it's Jennifer from Positively Learning. I wanted to show you this set of IEP cheat sheets that you can take to your next meeting. So, whether you are a brand new special educator or new IEP chair, or maybe you have sat through hundreds of meetings, these are talking points that you can take with you next time. All right, I created these for myself because it's something I always wanted. I spent the first few years feeling super uncomfortable at IEP meetings. I had a lot to say. I was very prepared, but I just didn't always know how to say it. I would trip up my words. I was always worried about saying the wrong thing. So it took several years to get really comfortable. And what I was doing in that time was just trying out different ways and different phrases, listening to what other people said that I thought sounded really good, and just developing my own talking points. And then when they worked, I used them over and over again. And now I have collected them to share them with you. All right. So this is a blog post. I'm going to link it because I don't want to read it to you. I do want to show you an example of what I'm talking about, though. So what I've done is I've developed 24 different scripts, and the scripts are different talking points as you kick off a new component of the annual IEP meeting, or whether it's a initial IEP meeting. So the example we're looking at right now is present levels. Would not be at the very beginning of the meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, we'd have the opening statements and the introduction of the team, encouraging input from everyone, sitting at the table together, and then we would move on to present levels. So what I've done is I've taken each component and I gave 5 different talking points. So you would just choose one that felt comfortable for you, that resonated with you. You could mix and match them a little bit, or you can use them exactly as is. They are editable. So, this example of present levels, you can see the 5 different paragraphs, 5 talking points, and there's blue text. And the blue text is what you would edit with your identifying information for that specific meeting. So I'm just going to choose one of these. I'm not going to read them all to you, but I'm going to choose one just to show you exactly what they would be like. For this one, I'm going to choose, let's see, I'm going to choose the 4th one. All right. So before we discuss goals and strategies for the coming year, let's review Jennifer's current performance levels. In the area of early literacy, we've identified that Jennifer is currently performing at, and then I would describe the performance levels from the assessments, from classroom work, grade level, assessments, or whatever you're going to fill in there. So that is how you would use them. You would edit them to make them your own. You can cut and paste these into your own notes, or just print these off into your IEP meeting binder. All right, I'm going to keep going. It walks you through the different components of the meeting. I want to show you this example. So this example is when we are proposing goals and objectives, and you probably have sent home the draft IEP in preparation for the meeting. This says part 1 for goals and objectives because this is where, as a special educator, I would be talking about like what goals we think are appropriate. And then part 2 is the feedback, the input from the team on those goals. Do we accept those goals? And then moving forward to the next area. So for this example, let me choose the 3rd one. All right. The team has identified several goals and objectives that we believe will support Jennifer's progress and success over the coming year. For example, the first proposed goal is, and then I would fill in the goal, and the objectives are, and I would just cut and paste those. So that is a talking point that you could use. Do you have to read these? No, but they could be really helpful if you're feeling very nervous. I was always worried about saying the wrong thing, and I just wanted to make sure that communication was really clear. All right, so what I've done is I've made these examples. Here's some opening statements that you could do, and I put these all into one editable file. So now let me show you the file real quick. It's just a super fast. Here's the scripts. You could borrow my words and phrases that I've provided, switch out those underlined words to replace with more specific meaning. And I call these sample sayables. I don't think anyone else calls them that. So just think of them as cheat sheets. I'm going to quickly scroll through. Here's the different areas. So on the left-hand column, moving down, we're just walking through the order of the meeting. I put in some extra things that you may want, may not want. If you're using additional data and work samples, I put in a script there. You can use it or not. I have two different forms of input. One is at the beginning of the meeting, talking about like encouraging input. I put family and caregivers, but of course, it's anybody on the IEP meeting team. I also put a second example when you want to encourage at any time of the meeting. I always liked at the very beginning of the meeting to make sure we started with the family members before we launched into all the other components. But there's another way of saying it where you can just say, hey, at any time of this meeting, like your input is valuable. If you have clarifying questions, there's another way that you could say it. So you can pick and choose which ones make sense for you. All right, now let me quickly scroll through. All right, so here's opening. I'm not going to read these to you because you can see them. But there's 5 different talking points for each one, and they are very similar to each other. Maybe you want to mix it up a little bit. Maybe you want to keep it really uniform. It's up to you, but you can see all of these. All right, that's it. I will put a link to the blog post so that you can read through all of these helpful tips and see the examples up close. I will also put a link straight to the scripts if you are like, yep, that's what I need. Just going to print them out and put them in. I would have paid anything for these my first few years just to make it less nerve-wracking. But I am going to be uploading this for $4.50. So if that is worth peace of mind, be sure to grab those. It's also part of the huge Special Educators Resource Room bundle. So if you already have that, you've got this. Look in the IEP and 504 category, and it is there waiting for you. All right. Thanks so much. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for checking it out.